And you know, I could be like all these other guys on YouTube and social media, feeding you false hope, giving you false illusions, but it's not what this channel's about. And as we said at the beginning of this little series of videos that I'm making about a month or 2 months ago, this is the tough love segment, or the tough love portion of the channel. You guys are already masters and PhD in interiorism and in this material, and for those of you who are not ready to watch this, for those of you who are still in Sunday school, who are still children in this outlook, well, you have your path too. But this is for the adults in this outlook, and I'm going to feed it to you straight, guys, because I've been reading these forums on Reddit that have been emailed to me by some of our subscribers. I've been reading the emails from some of the subscribers, and it's true, it's very true, guys. Manifestation, law of attraction, all of this stuff is a scam. And this channel's not about scamming people. There are plenty of other channels for that. You'd have to be daft not to see it, and it's reflected in a lot of these stories of Reddit. Well, I've been doing it, it doesn't work. Some of these law of attraction coaches say just imagine something and it's going to change the world, especially in regards to the specific person modality. We've talked about it on this channel, but people think that they're going to be able to control someone else on the outer world, and that's a scam. Now, it might be witchcraft, and if you want to go into that, that's your business, but it's not going to turn out very well for you, because you're trying to exert force on a natural law that really has nothing to do with you guys. Think about this. You're all old enough to have observed empirically the outer world. The outer world follows its own laws, guys. It follows the laws of physics. People follow the laws of psychology. People don't care about you. People aren't focused on you. It's really never personal, because the way people react is basically based on deterministic laws. But again, it's based on the law of physics. It's based upon what they ate for breakfast that morning, how they felt when they woke up that morning. If you think that you're going to use a thought and then control that and then change that, you're delusional, guys, and you're falling for a scam. And it's what interiorism is meant to deliver you from. Because, again, the Stoics talk about it very well. We are in a universe, and of course, as Einstein said, it's the fundamental decision of every person to determine whether we are in a friendly or hostile universe. But that, again, that's for Sunday school. That's for kindergarten. What we have to realize is that there is no favorable or unfavorable. There is no good or bad. It just is, guys. The universe is as it is. It's been around for billions of years, and those laws are inexorably, basically, unfolding without any reference or caring to who you are. And that's where interiorism comes in, because while we talk about manifesting, and while manifesting does happen, it's not like these YouTubers and TikTokers are talking about. It's not like these people that get on TikTok and say, oh, you know, this person's in love with me and they're going to be in love with me and they have no choice. That's all very banal. Manifestation happens, guys, as a consequence of getting on another film roll. Of course, those film rolls are all unfolding according to inexorable natural law independent of you. So the only choice you have, the only free will that you have, guys, is to choose which film roll you'll be on. And this is physics, guys. Physics has discovered this and elucidated it. So, of course, the universe, if it is infinite, every potential must be latent in that universe. And so there's an infinite number of chains of cause and effect, or film rolls, in that universe. Your decision, because you are spirit, guys. And spirit is the only thing that does not follow the laws of physics, because it is outside of the laws of physics. Indeed, it is outside of the laws of multiplicity. That spirit can then choose a film roll upon which it will then focus, and then it will get the results of that film roll. But it's not going to be by trying to get results. Because if you're trying to get results, then you're trying to get results on this film roll. And good luck, guys, because the universe is infinite, the film roll is infinite, and you're only going to be able to affect a tiny change. I might be able to go out and get a bottle of water. That's about the extent of the control that I have right now. I can think positively. I can think that I have control. I can think that I'm going to become a millionaire. But then when I get back on the film roll, of course that's going to affect some of it. Because even on the individual film roll, there are small pockets of choice. I can move to the right, I can move to the left. But it's only going to be a paltry movement. And of course what people don't understand is what that does is, if you get a little bit better on the film roll that you're on, it helps you shift your energy so you get on another film roll, and then another film roll, until eventually you're on the film roll where the world is already the way that you want it. But it's not because you changed the film roll. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand. That's why trying to apply the law of attraction or trying to apply interiorism is a scam. So if you're peaking for results, guys, I've got news for you. You're either never going to see them or they're going to come very slowly. So what's the only way you escape this deterministic universe? I keep telling you guys, you have got to stop thinking that the physical world is substantially different from what's within you, your imagination. In fact, what's within you is a lot stronger reality. Why? Because even on the outer, you see, I see this laptop, I see this camera, and what happens is a certain phenomenon touches upon my senses, so to speak, and then that causes a reaction in the brain, and then my brain reports back to me what supposedly is there. So as many great philosophers like Berkeley and others, it's a very strong tradition in European and British philosophy called idealism. What they say is there is no physical reality, there's only the idea. Because how do I prove that there's physical reality? Well, you can knock on this laptop, Javier. Well, when I knock on it, I have certain sensations, but all of those sensations are simply registered within my brain, within my mind, within my inner apparatus. So it's all interior. So all interiorism says is, let's look at what truly is. You have an outside world, that's what we ostensibly view, but how do we know that there's anything outside of us? And I say there's nothing outside of you. Therefore, whatever happens on the outer world and whatever you imagine on the inner world, there's absolutely no difference. So controlling reality is very simple. You go into your inner world. You shut the door, as the Bible said. When you pray, you go into your closet and you shut the door. And you then simply observe what you want to observe. You feel what you want to feel. And then, of course, when you open your eyes, you have moved to another film roll, at least towards it, and you will start seeing the unfoldment of what you've done within. But do not look for signs without. Because if you start looking for signs, then you're starting to look for something outside yourself. And what is it? It's an indifferent universe that's going according to its own laws. That's where the delusion is. And that's where the delusion is of the specific person. Because people think, I can get this person to fall in love with me who doesn't want to fall in love with me. It's never going to happen. But if you can go within and you can picture a version of that person who's already in love with you or has changed and has become in love with you, and then be satisfied with that, that is going to show itself to you without, not because you've changed the exterior world, which is well nigh impossible, except maybe for buying a glass of water, but because you've shifted to another film roll, because it's all within you. Because the big secret here is, you are the universe. There's no two, there's only one, and you are that one. You shifted to that film roll, and now you get to experience what's on that film roll. But when you try to do it according to law of attraction, and when you try to manifest like these banal coaches are telling you to do on the outer, if you're making it all about the outer, let's try to think about and walk through what it means to make it about the outer. Well, you're looking for signs on the outer, and all you're thinking about is seeing the sign of that on the outer. So now the focus is not on your imaginal act. I know a great teacher talked once about he does his imaginal act not to affect change on the outer, but like watching a Netflix movie. And that's what it's got to be for you. Although it's not only a movie, it's a full immersion experience. You want the entertainment. You want to have that thing now. So you just go within and you experience it within, and you make it as real as you can. Neville Goddard said, make it as vivid as you can, and you do that for the pure enjoyment of it. You don't, stop watching a Netflix movie and then look for the signs of that movie happening in your life. No, that's it. You're satisfied. And once you're satisfied, then you go into what Neville Goddard calls the Sabbath, and you just rest. And then it's going to catch you unawares. It's going to come to you in a way that you didn't expect. And that's how you know it's divine. That's how you know it's from your higher self. But if you keep looking for a sign, all that means is that you haven't satisfied yourself with the having of it, and you have more work to do within. You just go to the interior and you figure out a way to give yourself the feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of it is finished. I remember the great Lester Levinson, a great spiritual teacher, said that you can have and do anything that you want. You can be, have, or do anything that you want simply by releasing all of the negative feelings. That's another technique. So, say you want $1 million. You imagine that, but then you have negative feelings about that, or unbelief, or I don't think I could do that, I've never had that. Then you simply allow those feelings to pass through you, and you release it. Just like the Sedona method, just like we teach you to do, or we have taught you to do in a lot of videos. And then on the other side of that, you haven't. He said, once you do that, you will have it very quickly and very easily. But, he said, the way that you know you've done that, the way that you've released all the negativity is you don't give a hoot. So you no longer care about whether you're going to get it on the physical, then you get it. What all of these other manifestation coaches are teaching you is do this so that you can manifest it on the physical and keep looking and you'll prove that you got it and all that nonsense. That's nonsense, because it's never going to happen on the physical, because the physical is following its own laws. But if you penetrate that and you realize that you are the physical and you are above all of it and it's all happening within you, then you control those laws and you can go in and go to a film roll where what you want has already unfolded, is already unfolding. So remember, stop looking stop looking for it from without. Go within and be satisfied in the wish fulfilled that you have done within, and don't care about what happens on the outer, and I promise you, it's going to happen. Law of attraction and manifesting is a scam. Guys, if you want to see more of these videos about interiorism, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. If you want to have personal coaching from me, we can work through some of these blocks that you have. I can show you who you are and how to figure that out. Do email me. I will put it below. Until very soon, guys, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, wishing you a wonderful rest of the weekend.